Now we would see the production of cheddar cheese or the production of other hard cheeses, because cheddar is a hard cheese as we earlier discussed, and the process is similar for other hard cheeses as well. Uh, this cheddar cheese would be different in color depending upon whether it comes from the pure milk from goat or sheep, that is where it normally comes from, or it can have yellow or orange color. These yellow or orange colors are basically added to impart these particular colors to this end product, depending upon the desired color of the end product. Normally, if you look at the compositional standards for cheddar cheese, it consists of 39% moisture and 50% fat. That is the standard of its composition that is generally followed. If you look at the other ingredients, by far, milk is of course the starting raw material, and this is the base material for making cheddar cheese. Then we add calcium chloride to milk. That would help us actually in achieving better outcome or better yield of the final product. Then starter cultures are added. Adjunct culture may be used for production of hard cheese. Color may be added, as I said, depending upon whether it is needed or not. Different enzymes can be added, salt can be added, and optional ingredients are also added. So these are the overall ingredients which are normally used depending upon what is the final product or what is the quality of product that we want. So they are optional as well. It can be as little as starter culture and milk, and it can have many more additives added too. If you look at the process, we have to start with the culture selection. As I said, in the control fermentation process, the selection of culture is the most critical element, because if we have a selected culture with desirable traits, only then we can make sure that the final product is of good quality and they meet the standards. So they come in different form. They can be in the form of a liquid, where we use the propagation of mother culture, but this mother culture is rarely used today, because we need to maintain this culture as well in order to consistently achieve the final end product with the same quality. So mother culture can have mutations, or it can have change in the composition of these microbes or their strains. So that is why this mother culture is nowadays is quite rarely used in the production of cheese. So other forms are deep frozen concentrated cultures. So these are available in the market mostly, or the companies would have their own proprietary cultures. These are deep frozen so that they can be added anytime whenever they are needed into formation of a fermented product. The third form is deep fried, freeze dried concentrate cultures. These are in the form of powders. They are quite dry in nature, and they can be added into the final product. And they would, of course, guarantee you the consistency in the final product. Deep frozen or freeze dried super concentrated cultures are also used. So these four different forms of cultures, they can be added into the product for manufacturing of cheese. If you look at the milk parameters that must be followed, the milk, as we earlier discussed, it must be treated before it actually is put into fermentation process. So it has to be centrifuged or standardized. Before that, centrifugation would remove the fat content from milk, so it would make it to a standard 3.5% fat or whatever is required for that particular process. Then the milk gets homogenized. This homogenization would equally distribute the fat globules within milk, and then it is pasteurized. This pasteurization, as I said, it would be reducing the initial microflora in the milk, and that would facilitate the growth of starter culture rather than these natural microflora. If we look at the steps that are involved, we start with addition of culture and calcium chloride and color if it's needed in the pre-treated milk. So milk is treated, these additives are added, and then the process of ripening starts at for 15 to 30 minutes. Coagulant is added and it is checked at regular interval. This coagulant can be a chemical one, or it may be an enzyme, or it may be any other compound that can remove casein or protein in the form of curd from the milk. So once we have coagulated these curds, it is then cut into proper sizes. It is cooked for 40 to 50 minutes at 102 Fahrenheit temperature. This cooking would be removing the extra moisture from these products. Then the whey is drained. The liquid part, which is it comes out from these solid curd, it would be removed. It is called as whey. Then it is trenched. The solid material is trenched. It is given a proper shape. It is collected together. After that, there is another process called as cheddaring. This cheddaring is basically the cutting of this cheese into smaller parts, and then they are placed on the top of one another, so that by the pressure it would be removing some extra amount of whey or the liquid that oozes out from these solid materials. It can be remixed, then again it can be cut into smaller pieces, and these smaller pieces put together on each other, and that would help in removing maximum moisture or liquid from these products. The next process is milling, when it can be cut into the smaller sizes, desirable sizes. Then salt can be added for taste purposes. The next step is hooping. Hooping basically is adding these materials into particular templates for giving them a proper shape. So these are the containers with specific shapes in which these products are added, and then they are pressed. We apply higher pressures, and that would remove maximum moisture that can be there. And once we have these proper shapes formed in those molds, after pressing, they can be packaged. And after packaging, these products go in storage, and then in the storage they stay for a longer time, depending upon how long we want this product to be aged. The longer is the age, the more premium is the product. So this was the process for making cheddar cheese, and the similar process can also be used for making other hard cheeses. So these were the generic overview of overall process for making hard cheese.